I'm Caitlin McLean, sports editor of the Whitworthian, and I'm here with Corinne Vasiloff, and we're going to learn how to pitch today. So, how long have you been playing softball for?
Well, I started in 5th grade, so I don't know how many years that is, 19? 15? I'm not sure.
Math is hard. I love that. And then, was there ever a point in that softball career where you were like, yes, this is what I want to do, you know, through college, maybe just long term?
I definitely decided, I was a 3-sport athlete at my high school for a long time, and then my freshman year, I really decided I wanted to do softball and wanted to commit to it, so I picked that and kind of focused on trying to get to college, so that's probably when it happened.
What other sports did you play in high school?
Well, I did cross country and basketball in high school, and then I ran track when I was younger instead of basketball, but yeah.
How early on in that softball career did you decide that you wanted to pitch? When did you choose that position?
Probably a year and a half into it. I wasn't very good at the other positions, so my dad and I thought we'd try out pitching. I remember I have a video when I was first learning, and I still couldn't catch the ball well, so he would roll the ball back to me and I'd pitch it to him. But I really loved it, and I think that's why I stayed with softball for so long.
What's your best pitch?
I think curve. One of my catchers might tell you it's screwball, but curve is my favorite.
There we go. And then, so you guys started out your season 1-7 in
Yes.
conference, and then all of a sudden, bam, you won 13 straight. What changed for you guys?
I think coming into conference was a little bit of an eye-opener for us. We did really well in our preseason and kind of just flew through the games in California, and then we got into our conference and definitely felt how hard our conference is, and really just had some, tough team conversations to step it up. And then, being home was really amazing. We had extra time to practice and to get rest, and we just kind of got on a roll and didn't stop.
And you talked about playing at home. You guys went undefeated here this season. What's so special about playing here at Marks Field?
We have such great fans, first of all. We always have people come out. Also, we practice here all the time. And there's something to be said about being in your own space. We have our own cages, our own bullpen, our own dugouts, things like that. It just makes the whole thing feel more comfortable, and we can really find our groove a little bit easier.
That's great. I feel like pitching is one of the things that makes softball so much more distinct from baseball.
Yes.
What are some important fundamentals or differences in softball?
Well, one of the things is we have a rise ball. That's one thing that'll trip up baseball players especially. It's a little bit different. But really just, you're closer, the whole game is closer, so everything's going to move a little bit faster, even though maybe our miles per hour is a little bit less. But we focus a lot on movement and spots, and really the job, at least especially with our program, is to make sure that our fielders can make good plays for us. It's not about blowing it past the batters or anything like that. It's really about helping our team out.
That's awesome. Do you want to show me some,
Yes,
teach me how to pitch?
I'm happy to.
Okay, let's do it. What are we going to work on?
Well, we will start with our feet, make it basic and easy. So like I was mentioning, it's a little bit weird, but you're going to start with your front foot on the front of the mound, and then back foot can go anywhere behind. You can put it kind of in the middle. That's where I personally prefer, but it's honestly up to you. And then back foot wherever you're comfortable. And then the basic motion is you're going to step forward with your foot as your arm goes back. Yep, just like that.
Cool.
And then go around in a windmill. Yep, just like that. It's kind of weird. One of the things we start with pitching is you go sideways.
Oh,
so you
interesting.
think of going forward, but if you can turn your body as you go, it'll make it a little bit easier.
Okay.
Yep, just like that.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, the dirt will get everywhere.
I know white shoes are maybe a bad idea, but it's okay. Okay.
Yep, that was pretty good.
Like that, yeah?
The other thing is if you can try to keep your wrist like this. So even if you just want to throw it straight like that,
okay,
and kind of get the little snap on it, that'll help it out too. It gets a little bit of speed on there.
Cool, okay.
That worked pretty good.
How long did it take you to kind of get these mechanics nailed down?
It takes a while. I still have videos from when I was younger, and everything's kind of going out, and I'm trying to throw it hard, but my body's just not quite working. So it is a weird thing to learn, but it's kind of crazy because now, I can pitch with my eyes closed. I can really do it without thinking about it. So lots of years of muscle memory will help it out. Another thing that's really weird especially I think compared to baseball, is we drag our back foot. So you'll see as a person is pitching a lot, like I literally will dig a giant hole. That's why this dirt is so soft, right through the middle. So as you go, you drag and bring it up with you. Obviously, the shoes are a little bit hard when you're not in cleats, but that's another thing that brings it a little bit more speed, get out there a little bit more.
Is it almost kind of a hop and then a drag
Yeah,
too?
so it's like, we talk a lot about loading, so you really want to jump as far out as you can. When I was younger, I was taught every inch further out you can get is another mile an hour on your speed.
Interesting.
So we focus a lot on like, you know, doing exercises that'll really get you to jump out, kind of like a long jump. Hey, that was pretty close.
Yeah?
I thought it was good.
Thanks. Oh. Oh, there we go.
It still went in there.
Hey! I know, I thought it was going to go over. I was like, oh.
It's okay, sometimes it'll bounce off the catcher's glove and it'll go all the way over.
Oh,
and
no.
the coach is like, hold on, what's going on? We're like, sorry.
How long do you warm up in the bullpen usually before you start?
Before a game, probably 30 minutes.
Okay.
We start really close to the catcher and then move back each time. And then move through each pitch, and it's a very like kind of refining it each time, in addition to actually just warming up your arm. In the game, I can usually go like 5-10 minutes to re-warm, but 30 minutes is pretty normal for before a game.
And how many pitches do you throw?
I throw 6 different pitches, 5 that I actually use in a game. So fastball is what I use to warm up, but I don't throw it just because it doesn't have any movement on it, so it's a little bit iffy. But I have a change, a drop, a curve, a screw, and a rise. So all 4 directions,
Nice.
and then the change up.
I feel like this arm is like everywhere when it comes forward.
Super weird, I know. Even just trying to keep it, we call it the slot, so trying to keep it all in a row. My right arm can actually go like straight back, and my left arm is still kind of out here. So when we do like arm circles, I always look a little bit lopsided because of that. It's just a weird motion. That might have been a strike over there.
When we're talking about grip, how do you usually grip the ball when you pitch?
So for fastball, 4 fingers on this seam and then thumb on this one.
Okay.
But it depends on the pitch. So that's actually, I kind of think of it as like a setting where when I decide what pitch I need to throw, I change my grip, and that's kind of what reminds my body what to do, which is weird to think about, but it works out pretty well. But that's pretty standard, and then it just depends on what you're trying to throw.
Cool. Which pitch did you learn first? I mean, other than your fastball, probably.
Change up, actually,
Okay.
which is a little bit funny because it also took me the longest to be able to throw consistently. So change was my second pitch, and then drop was the first, like, spins, I guess, that I learned.
And for those that may not be as comfortable with softball pitches, how does a changeup move? You know, if you're standing in the batter's box, what are you going to see?
A changeup will usually kind of die right before it gets there. It's
Okay.
just about 10, 15 miles an hour slower than a fastball. So it will come out, you know, all the body's moving the same speed, but then the ball will come slower right as it gets there. So those are the ones where you see the batter swing and then the ball goes through. So they're pretty fun to throw as a pitcher.
When you throw or when you're throwing in the bullpen, is there a specific spot that you're aiming for?
It depends. We usually aim for like knee height and then on either side of the plate. So that's one of the things that a lot of people who aren't familiar with softball and baseball don't realize is, you know, the strike zone is this whole part of the body over the plate, but our goal is not to throw it into the strike zone. Our goal is to hit the edges of it, which definitely makes it a little bit more difficult. But yeah, so I'm a low pitcher, so I usually stay at the knees and then kind of on either side of the plate. There you go.
Thanks! That one felt better.
That was really good.
Oh, spoke too soon.
Another thing, and you're kind of doing it too, so I'm sure you know, but when you come through, you know, especially when you have your glove on this hand, we kind of slap our leg, so you'll sometimes hear the sound. And the first time wearing shorts after the winter, I'll get a big red mark on my leg from my glove hitting it over and over. So that's another funny thing that happens.
Is it just the motion that just kind of happens?
Yeah, it just, because I think this arm is working so hard that this one kind of just goes down. And it's not even, like, it doesn't hurt, it's not super hard, but you forget about it, and then you'll look afterwards, and this whole part of the leg will be bright red. That was pretty good. I liked it stayed nice and level.
Yeah!
Yeah, definitely. put some speed on it. It's funny when I've helped at different clinics with like younger girls that are learning how to pitch, and there are some that will go and they'll just try to go as hard back as they can, and they kind of fall forward as they go, and really just try to chuck it.
I feel like that'd be hard to balance.
Yeah, definitely. Even sometimes I will come up and I'll be waiting for the sign and I'll feel like I'm gonna fall over.
It's kind of a weird balance motion.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I feel like I'm leaning way too far forward.
Yeah, definitely. And you'll see, like, especially if you watch some of the, like, Division I championships and stuff, some pitchers will do, like, a twisty motion before they go.
Huh.
There was one that was, like, really well known for a while. She went and bent all the way over before she went into her pitch. So there's really a lot of variety there. When I was younger, I would hit my glove in front and I'd just go like this with my leg and it would go all the way back. So you can really decide what you want to do with it, make it your own style. But yes, some people really have interesting ones.
It still feels like it's going way out here. Is that what it's doing?
Yeah, we call that a chicken wing, actually, because you're out there like this. But it's definitely a weird thing, and that's kind of why when you start like teaching little kids to do it, they'll start just right here, and you try to make sure they keep their body or their arm really close to their leg. But sometimes, like, I'll hit my leg as I'm releasing, and I've had a friend that actually threw it into her leg instead of out. Yeah, it's not great. But, you know, you don't feel like it should be that close to your body as you're going through, so that's a pretty common thing that pitchers will do.
How do you get rid of that? Is it just reps, or is it?
Yeah, sometimes I'll have you, like, go really close to a fence. That way, if your arm goes out, you know, you can't actually go out with it because it'll hit the fence. But usually, you know, it's just really trying to keep that in mind as you're going through and trying to keep it close to your body.
That was a little better, maybe.
I liked it.
Yeah.
That's one benefit of softball versus baseball pitching, is that we can just throw a bunch of reps. I know baseball has a lot of like pitch limits because it's really bad for their arm, but you can come out and throw 100 pitches every practice and nobody will, you know, get injured or anything like that. So that's really beneficial, especially when you have something small you're just supposed to work on. You can just go over and over again until you get it.
How many pitches do you usually throw in a game?
Probably about 100. It'll depend on, you know, how many innings and stuff like that. But roughly 100, and then we can go, you know, back-to-back games and things like that. Obviously, you'll get a little bit tired, but it's not too bad.
Is it just easier mechanically because you're going under? You're kind of using your body's momentum instead of...
It's a natural motion. You know, baseball, even just watching sometimes like the elbow and stuff, they have a lot more stress on it, whereas underhand is a bit more natural motion. That was really good.
That felt better.
Yeah, definitely.
Oop.
2 in a row. That's pretty good.
Thanks.
When I was younger, I used to have to do a drill where it would be 10 pitches and you'd count how many of the 10 you got. And I remember thinking there was no way I would ever be able to get more than like 5. So it's crazy how much, you know, improvement and stuff like that.
Have you tried it recently? What can you get now?
I can get 10 in the strike zone. Now we do it more like this very specific spot, and that gets a little bit harder. Before I came to school over the summer, I had to pitch by myself, and I would put a ball on a tee and have a net, and I try to hit the ball off the tee from over here. So that's a little bit harder because it's a very small, you know, target. Oh my God! I'm also not warm. I don't usually chuck it over there. Oh my gosh. It's also funny because we just walk circles in this thing, and the other fielders will always be like, do you ever just get tired of walking the same direction every time? I'm like, no.
There it was.
That was a little better.
Do you aim for a specific box with different pitches, or is it just kind of...
Well, like, for example, curve can really only go on this side.
Okay.
Sometimes I'll move the whole thing over. That way I can get it, like, on the side and further out. But curve, and then for the most part I try to stay to the lower boxes.
Okay.
Unless I'm throwing like a rise ball, which could hit the top ones, but I generally stay low, so. We had one the other day where my coach said, if Corinne throws this pitch in this box, everyone get Didier's. And it bounced right on the top edge of it and didn't go in.
Oh no!
I was like, wait a second, that counts. The other thing the dirt will do is tear holes in our cleats.
Oh no!
I already have one starting.
Oh
and these
yeah!
are a couple weeks old. It's kind of crazy.
How often do you have to get new cleats because of the way the dirt does that?
I go probably every 4 months.
Okay.
It depends on the pitcher and how hard you drag. But yeah, I go through them pretty quickly and I'll totally wear down the side. They look like completely different shoes by the end of it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Today, I learned how to softball pitch. We worked a lot on mechanics of dragging your feet and making sure that your arm stays kind of just with the rest of your body, not sticking out to the side or anything like that. I threw a couple strikes maybe, so that was pretty cool. So yeah, that was so much fun. Thanks for being willing to teach me how to pitch.
Of course.
And good luck with the rest of your season. I'm excited
you.
to see how you guys do.
Thanks.